Welcome to all. On behalf of Earthkeeper and James DeBron, Earthkeeper are very pleased to share the following amazing presentation from Dr. Joseph McNamara. Dr. McNamara is an Irish-born healer, educated in Ireland as a degree medical doctor. After working many years as a traditional family doctor and an emergency care physician, he now focuses on the expansive freedom to offer more innovative, cutting-edge healing techniques, and works as a holistic medical doctor. Dr. McNamara writes the following regarding his incredible work, and we quote, "As we continue our extraordinary rapid development towards a more modern, holistic medical approach, toward refined, body energy formatting, there are extraordinary tools available to assist us in this important evolution. One of these tools is Tachyon technology. Tachyons are rapid nanoparticles, moving faster than light. When these impinge into the third dimension, paradoxical benevolent effects occur in a healing configuration, which can profoundly affect the morphogenetic field, creating a coherent laser effect in healing." Unquote. In addition to being a truly brilliant, avant-garde medical doctor and visionary medical scientist, Dr. Joseph McNamara is also a highly intuitive empath, a kind-hearted, truly warm person, a soul of great humility, generosity, keen intelligence, and remarkably nurturing and caring. A true healer. James DeBron and Earthkeeper are very pleased to announce that Dr. Joe McNamara will be a featured healer and will present at the 2018 Earthkeeper Arclantis event in Sacred, Arkansas on the equinox weekend of September the 21st through 24th, 2018 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Amidst the lush green hills of the beautiful Ozark Mountains, in the heart of the mystical and vibrant crystal vortex. Event details for the Earthkeeper Arclantis gathering are available online at www.earth-keeper.com. Now, please enjoy Dr. McNamara's truly fascinating presentation, in which he discusses coherent laser tachyon technology healing. Namaste, and enjoy. Dr. McNamara will begin immediately after this brief music offering. Thank you, and from our hearts to yours, we wish you a truly blessed day.
Our next speaker is Dr. Joseph McNamara. Please, a warm, enthusiastic, Earthkeeper round of applause for Dr. Joe McNamara.
Technology is working.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Here we go. Okay, if you need to read more, I have my website. It's actually, I've shortened it from tachioncounseling.wordpress. You can drop the WordPress. It's tachioncounseling.com. Oh, there's mine. Okay, so it is the particle of the golden age, and we'll be hearing more and more about that. They are subatomic particles that travel faster than the speed of light, and they are particles, thank you, that infuse physical matter with spiritual light. Tachyonization is a technical process that impregnates the physical matter with an increased quantity of tachyons and thus permanently changes the quantum properties of the atomic nuclei which compose that matter. Okay, and that goes for however you want to use that, the tachyons. For example, the extraterrestrials that like to visit us, they come here not using fossil fuels, I assure you. They come through wormholes using tachyon and drives, and they communicate, as they would say in Star Trek, on subspace. So you can communicate across the universe immediately. So, this is just a visualization that you can find on the internet. It has paradoxical effects. So what you might think is logical is absolutely illogical. It's like going through the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. It's the exact opposite of what you think. So since the tachyon moves faster than the speed of light, we cannot see it approaching. After a tachyon has passed nearby, we would be able to see two images of it appearing and departing in opposite directions. And so the black line here is the shock wave, or the Cherenkov radiation, shown in only one moment of time. It's our inadequate way of visualization of the impact of a tachyon with a regular three-dimensional particle. Okay, so how can tachyon technology help me? I'm a healer, so I need to be able to use this technology in a way that the advanced galactic races do, which is to rejuvenate the body. They travel vast distances, cover vast quantities of time, so they need to keep as healthy as possible. Now, the tachyon particles vibrate at a subatomic level. Even the quantum particles that we're used to, the quarks, the mesons, the bosons, the hadrons, all of these unusual particles, they actually travel at or above the speed of light. The tachyons, though, do not alter the chemical composition. So if you measure a blood test or any other physical parameter, they will not have changed. The vibration is more subtle, although somewhat more tangible. So they move faster than the speed of light and therefore seem to decrease the entropy of physical matter. This is an important concept. If you have done your high school physics, you'll have heard of entropy, and that is the tendency for matter to reach the lowest energy level possible. So, for example, if a tree dies in the forest, it will collapse and it will revert to its original particles that made up the tree from the beginning. So the tree itself is not the life force. Now, if you can reverse time, you can actually cause the opposite of syntropy, which is, the opposite of entropy, which is called syntropy. Some people call that neg-entropy, but I don't like that term because, like the word magic that CJ was talking about, it's better to give it a positive connotation than a negative connotation. So syntropy is better. Because of this, it may reverse the aging process and strengthen the immune system. It also harmonizes the chaotic electromagnetic fields in our human living environment. And of course, with now the even more energetic electromagnetic frequencies, we are more and more assaulted by negative vibrations. Since tachyons influence our higher energy bodies as well as the physical, they can accelerate our spiritual growth dramatically. Our spiritual growth should be natural. So this will augment and make that even faster. Because of all of the above mentioned reasons, tachyon energy has a very positive effect on our health and well-being. Okay, so they are superluminal. That's a word you'll hear more and more in the coming years. It just means faster than light. Okay, I'll continue on without the slides. The physics of faster than light travel were already worked out about 100 years ago. Albert Einstein, whom of course you've heard of before. Yeah, you need to turn it up, yeah, okay. The physics of faster than light travel was worked out about 100 years ago by Albert Einstein. He worked with another German scientist called Arnold Sommerfeld, and you'll be hearing more and more about him in the future too. So these physics were used in the secret space programs. So in fact, humans have been traversing the solar system and beyond for some decades already. Tachyons traveled close to infinite speed. They are the first particle from source. Particles exist on all planes of creation. They just move faster and faster the higher the plane that you go. These tachyons infuse matter with spiritualities, such as from our galactic center. That's where our tachyons come from. They travel to us along with cosmic waves. And in the last couple of decades, there has been a phenomenon known as dark energy, dark matter. Again, I don't like those connotations, but there's a deficit that scientists have found that permeates our known cosmos. And this could easily be explained by hyperdimensional particles and energy. Tachyons are also part of a major wave of advancements leading to the transformation of our experience, the long-awaited golden age. There we go. The reasons that tachyons are not available to us here on the surface of the planet is because of a thing called a quarantine. And this goes back into our distant history. Atlantis was founded as a civilization about 26,000 years ago. Unfortunately, there were some invaders at the time. You'll hear more about it in years to come. And these introduced a lot of negative technology. Just like any other type of technology, tachyons can be used negatively as well. And so the sons of Bel, or Baal, as Casey called them, introduced a frequency fence, which kept us from accessing higher dimensions and higher energy levels. So we are in the process of dissolving this quarantine right at this time, and that's why there are more and more visitors from outer space coming here, and you will see even more of them in the future. I mentioned about Arnold Sonnenfeld, and you can read about that on the internet. One of the major contributors to our understanding of hyperdimensional energies is Fred Bell. He founded the Pyridine Group in the 1980s. He was involved with the secret space projects, and he abandoned that because he saw that a lot of what he was doing in terms of inventions and technology was being used in a negative fashion. So he used the same knowledge and information to develop positive technologies. More advanced technologies has been gifted to us through such Pleiadian contactees. He had his own one. He called her Simniase. So there are more and more contactees, and they will be giving more and more information and technologies to us until we finally have first contact, and there will be first contact in the coming years. I mentioned earlier, the chemical composition does not change, so you will still have the same physical body, but your DNA will be functioning in the way it was meant to be. It decreases entropy, increases entropy, and they as I say, can produce a reversal of the aging process and strengthen the immune system. Einstein, I told you, described this, and the intriguing thing is that we actually live in 4 dimensions. There are 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. Time is a unidimensional vector. It goes from past to present to future, so time is a variable, and it can be reversed. Yes, it can. So tachyons are completely safe. Certainly the technology that I have, it's all based on sacred geometry and fractals of them. So, and I use a lot of crystals too. So again, the previous 2 speakers went into great detail, and I can only say amen to both of them. Pleiadians and other cosmic civilizations use tachyons, I mentioned that earlier, as their basic source of energy. That is hyperdrive for spaceships by creating wormholes. And the crystals I use, they have been specifically taken off planet so that wormholes can be inserted into them, so they become channels or conduits for the tachyons from space and concentrated inside the chamber that I have. And I mentioned about information transmission, or subspace as they used to call it on Star Trek. And there's an animation there. Okay. And I mentioned about cosmic rays carrying them with them. And there's a nice Star Trekian thing. They can only reach the surface of our planet through hyperdimensional wormholes created via crystals that are engineered in near-Earth orbit, and they're part of the chamber that I have. Once we have established first contact, that frequency fence will exist no longer. We will become part of the Galactic Federation then. Believe it or not, there is a Galactic Confederation. Okay, good. Sorry. I'm lacking in patience. I have a device with me here, which is not the chamber. The chamber takes up a whole room, so I can't bring it with me. But I do have a tachyon laser, and I've been using it already since I came here. Lasers use light. It's coherent light, but you can't actually tachyonize it if you project the light through a tachyonized crystal. That's all it is. So I want to just talk a little bit about light and tachyons. So Michio Kaku, he was interviewed on Australian media a couple of years ago, and these are his quotes. He said, "God is a mathematician using tachyons, making music, strings resonating through 11 dimensions, unsticking space into matter." This is Michio Kaku. I didn't say that, he did. There's a movie called Tomorrowland that you can see. Hugh Laurie is in it, so it's actually a very entertaining movie, and he builds another world using tachyons. Gravity waves also are another manifestation of hyperdimensional energies. Gravity actually exists on all planes of dimension. That's why gravity is very difficult to understand. Because it's not polar. It's not part of duality. It doesn't have a positive or a negative. Finally, the gravity waves were measured finally because of an event that happened 2 years ago in the cosmos. And it's found that gravity waves moves at 64 times the speed of light. Again, the number 64 is very redolent with meaning. And so now we have evidence that something in the universe moves faster than the speed of light. So, laser, well, what does it mean? It's light augmentation of stimulated emission of radiation producing coherent light. So, if you tachyonize the light, you can affect the DNA, because the DNA is our blueprint, and it's a very advanced form of technology in and of itself. This is a quotation from Dr. Pyotr Garyayev. He says, "The DNA is like a coiled wireless antenna using light to talk like a music sheet." Again, these are scientists, and they're talking like philosophers. There's another one called Fritz Albert Popp. He discovered biophotons. Our bodies actually emit light, and as we develop ourselves in consciousness, our body emits more and more light, and that's why you see a lot of the avatars, including Jesus. When you see paintings of them, they're always surrounded by intense light. Okay. Luc Montagnier says the DNA can teleport when it is surrounded by a weak EMF field of about 7 hertz, which actually is a Schumann resonance. So we can, as Earthlings, affect our DNA and actually can manifest things, just as CJ said. This is a technology. It's higher mental, but it also can be augmented by technology. This shows quantum entanglement in the crystal of our body water. Water itself, in all of its phases, is crystalline. It is a liquid crystal. Okay. Applied photons from lasers are absorbed and travel through the nervous system to the brain. quantum computer. The sun is our main light source, but that's why we need sun. We need sunlight, not only just for vitamin D, but the sun itself, just like everything else in our solar system, is evolving. The sun is changing, and it's transmitting higher frequencies to us, and we need to absorb those so that we too can make the transition. Therefore, health is a state of perfect subatomic communication and coherency. You'll never find that in a medical textbook, but that is actually what it is. My laser uses patterns of sacred and fractal geometries. Sacred geometry produces coherency, and fractal geometries produce resonance. So if you can combine both resonance and coherency, your DNA will vibrate at its proper level. The sessions themselves last 20 minutes. They harmonize the gravitic, electromagnetic, and weak nuclear fields, and thus protecting against electrosmog, which, as I was saying earlier, is really becoming a really frustrating development in our technologies that we have right now. Each session lasts 20 minutes, and the positive effects are irreversible. It actually changes your timeline, just like CJ was saying. I also use other crystals and stones. The Chintamani stone is one that's been noted for centuries as being a sacred stone. There are many others. This one is a Moldavite crystal from the star system Sirius. I also have tachianized beads that are crystal and that harmonize with the chakra systems. We have higher dimensional bodies, etheric, astral, mental, and causal. You hear that word again. I also use what's called a galactic Merkaba activator. The Merkaba is the ancient Egyptian form of mind, body, spirit. So this collects energy from the galactic center and is focused through the heart chakra, which is the balancing chakra. Then through a silver flower of life pattern connecting via wormhole and creates a stargate in your body. All right. I am available for personal sessions with the few remaining openings of the Crystal Vortex Conference in Arkansas. Thank you. On the stage.